Good morning, everyone. How is your heart today? Is your heart kind? How is your mind? Is your mind calm and clear? The topic of today's video is your mind is your enemy. Let's break it down. In the early 2000s, a movie/documentary came out called What the Bleep Do We Know? It's quantum physics, quantum mechanics, science and spirituality. And the main theme of this movie documentary is how the mind works, how your brain works, how we wire the brain, and how we are able to rewire it. And that started my studies in neuroscience, quantum mechanics, and quantum physics. So, how is your mind your enemy? Have you ever heard the term live in the now, live in the present? Keep this in mind. I was watching a talk by Deepak Chopra, years ago. And he was talking about the past, and he was talking about the future. And he put it this way: they don't exist. They're not here now. What we have now is the present. The past doesn't exist. The future doesn't exist anymore. Here we are right now. The mind is your enemy this way. Have you, and I'm sure you have, experienced people that have an unfortunate or unexpected event and they handle it well? And then there's some people that have an unfortunate or unexpected event and they fall to pieces, or all hell breaks loose. In the case of people that are able to handle it, they just might be built that way. Also, however, there's a good chance they live in the present. They live in the now. Why is it, though, that some people fall to pieces? Some people blow things out of proportion. Some people, when there's an unexpected, unfortunate event, go off the rails, get angry. When we have an unfortunate or unexpected event, first of all, our life is memories. You could say on one side it's all memories, and on the other side it's anticipation of the future. So our life is all memories. When we have an unfortunate or unexpected event, in the subconscious, in the back of your mind, you could say, instantly activated We could call it a file. When we have an unfortunate, unexpected event, the mind goes into this file, and every past event similar to that, a tape starts playing in the back of our mind. So whatever the event is today, a tape is playing of every event you've ever had that's similar to that in the back of your mind. For a lot of people, this intensifies the current experience unknowingly. How do you overcome it, Johan? So, for someone to say, you just live in the present, you just live in the moment, that sounds easy. And you can watch videos where people briefly, without an explanation, say, gotta stop living in the past, don't think about the future, just live in the now, without an explanation. It's not that simple. I've warned, on previous videos, I've warned about what you watch on YouTube. If you come to this channel expecting a feel good, lift me up, some educational and wise quotes, and now you're good about your day, you can go about your day. That's not what this channel is about. We go deep. This channel used to be called Hardcore Spirituality, and then I found there were other channels called Hardcore Spirituality, and that's why I've changed the name to Discovering Yourself with Johan. I could tell you my experience, the events, the process that brought me to this point in my life where I live in the present. I live in the now. Mindfulness. Mindfulness is part of it. Mindfulness. But going back to these tapes that play in our mind, when we have this event today, and then the mind pulls out the file and every event similar to that plays in the back of our mind, what worked for me? What helped me? How was I able to make that leap forward? How was I able to get out of the muck and mire of despair? Was practicing the 12 steps of the 12-step program. I've often described those 12 steps as a college course on quantum mechanics, quantum physics, science, and spirituality. A lot went into those 12 steps. In the foreword of the 12-step and 12 tradition book of AA, it explains the principles of the 12-step program came from religious and spiritual societies, the medical society, and their own experience. So I went through those 12 steps as honestly and thoroughly as I could. And you could say, what do they call it? Monday night quarterbacking? So I'm looking back on it now, having gone through the experience. And I'm going to tell you how those steps changed my life. They revealed things to me. They revealed things about me. They revealed things about other people. in step 4. They talk about in step 4 in that big book, and you need to be honest with yourself and the person you're presenting those 3 lists to. There's 3 lists in step 4: the resentment list, the fear list, and the sex conduct list. But you come to realize that a lot of times we placed ourselves in positions to be hurt. A lot of times unknowingly. But events transpired and we wound up where we were at. And not so good things happen to all of us. To all of us. There's a book out by Don Miguel Ruiz called The 4 Agreements. And one of the agreements is don't take things personal. What I learned doing those 12 steps, and I had a sponsor, a spiritual guide, great man. He wasn't a jerk. When something happens to us, a lot of times we feel like we are the only ones that are going through this. We are the only ones who have ever gone through this. That's not supposed to make you feel good about what you're going through that's unfortunate or unexpected. It puts the situation into perspective. You know, you've heard people say, why does this always happen to me? It doesn't always happen to you. So we put ourselves in positions where we wind up getting hurt. When I talk about a current experience triggers that file in your mind of all those experiences you've had before. How I dealt with that was through those 12 steps, and it's called clearing up the wreckage of the past, okay? Clearing up the wreckage of the past not only includes admitting where you were wrong, it also includes forgiving other people. My first sponsor always told me that forgiveness doesn't mean you'll forget it. Forgiveness means you won't retaliate. And here's the problem with people that cannot let go of anger, resentments, and grudges. These are my observations of decades with the education I have in quantum mechanics and quantum physics. When you cannot let go of grudges, resentments, that anger, what happens is you become that which you despise. You become that which you despise. And now, you're so consumed by it, you start treating other people in a way that you, from your experience, that you can't let go of, you resent it. Now you treat other people that way. You become it. So now you know this. You can't unknow it. The mind is your enemy. So what happens when you have an event today that's unfortunate, unexpected? The tape starts playing. I'm not going to get so much into the future thing. I make videos on this. The problem with the future is our expectations, how we view what we think should happen, and when it doesn't, we're disappointed, angry. Some people are so frozen in time they won't attempt new things because of past experiences. Again, you hold on to something from the past, it cripples you from attempting new things, new activities, new adventures. To get to living in the now, in the present, I was able to do that through those 12 steps. I was able to see the futility and fatality of character defects and shortcomings, resentments, fear. And steps 8 and 9 have to do with making a list of all people we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. And made direct amends wherever possible, whenever possible. I forget exactly how it's worded, except when to do so would injure them or others. Because in a lot of cases, that person, these people, places, and things you have a resentment against, you are angry about, you have a grudge against, well, they're not the only ones, let's say, at fault. If you're honest about it, there's enough blame to go around, okay? So I addressed my past that way. I made as many amends as possible, and sincerely. You just don't go out and start making amends, apologies. Again, I had a great teacher, my first sponsor, a spiritual advisor, who described to me how these past events hold you back, keep you handicapped, and turn you into the person, place, or thing that you resent if you don't let them go or you don't deal with it. And I dealt with it through those steps. I'm a practicing Buddhist, and I appreciate and I use philosophies and teachings from various spiritual ways and paths and religions. But in Buddhist philosophy, we're responsible for our actions. We are responsible for the consequences. And the point I was trying to get at is I want to talk about mindfulness. Mindfulness isn't just popular to one spiritual path. Mindfulness. Everything I do, I'm aware of. It means something to me. Doing the dishes means something to me. Engaging in a conversation with other people means something to me because, as I mentioned in the video the other day, when you are spiritually balanced and you come from a genuine self, you're non-judgmental. You're grateful. Your mind isn't distorted by this, that, and the other thing. This process of these steps was a humbling experience. I've escaped from the prison of being egotistical, thinking I'm better than other people, sanctimonious, that self-righteousness a lot of people have. Some spiritual pathways and religions say destroy the ego. Through this process, everything I just described to you in this video, and you could go back and watch it again. I don't monetize this channel. I'm not here for money. All that I have done, and I still do, I did not destroy the ego, but on a daily basis, practicing spiritual principles and philosophies, I escape the ego. I escape it every day, one day at a time, by maintaining my spiritual condition. And it's only for today. Every day, I get up between 4 and 5 a.m. The coffee pot's ready. I turn the coffee pot on. I get dressed, grab a coffee. I go outside. That's how I start my day immediately. You know, I call it making conscious contact with the higher power. No devices involved. TV, phone, computer. Go outside. I walk around to get the blood flowing. First thing in the morning, walk around, increase the circulation. Fresh blood, fresh oxygen into my body and my brain. And then I sit for 5 to 10 minutes in silence and contemplate my day. And I also make an assessment of all my aches and pains, and this time of year they're worse. But then I do the treatments. I mentioned that in a video the other day. I don't wake up with aches and pains and say, oh, my day is ruined. Because of this process I went through, when I have an unfortunate or unexpected situation today, I don't say, why is this happening to me? I'm not a professional content creator, so my videos aren't in playlists. You have to search them. There's over 500 videos. I share my experience, strength, and hope. As far as I know, this is it. This is the only life. I'm not concerned about the hereafter, actually. The hereafter. I don't know what happens after. I don't care. What matters to me is, what am I doing today? Am I contributing to society? Am I being the best possible version of myself? And I mentioned in videos before, and I'll end with this, I live by 3 rules. I have other things that I take into consideration, principles and philosophies, but I've narrowed it down to 3 rules. 1, to go through the day and not harm anyone with my words or deeds. 2, to not engage in activities that are destructive or useless. 3, to be aware of what I put in my body. things that could have a negative effect on my faculties, mentally and physically. It's that simple. Make it an amazing day. Make it. It's your choice. It's your decision what kind of day you're going to have. It's your choice. It's your decision what kind of day you're going to have. And not just that. Make it an amazing life. It's your choice. It's your decision what kind of life you're going to have. So why not have a good one? I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully, Johan out. Peace.